Hello and welcome to Movie Ballot. I'm Richard Eve, Heat Ray OK, take your pick. And in this series we look at films through the lens of the political compass test. It'll be a series of propositions, at the end of which we will try to describe where the film positions itself in relation to politics. This week...
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
And our first proposition is...
Business is more important than art.
Depends how you define business and art. I mean, I've always thought, well, not always, but mostly thought, that art and commerce are bound up with each other like nature and nurture, right down to, if you like, the quantum level. So I suppose a more useful way of framing the proposition is making money is more important than making culture. And I would say, at least in spirit, this movie would disagree with that. Soft no, on to the left.
Some people are naturally unlucky.
Well, there's a lot of wooey things going on in this film, but it feels like good luck and bad luck, the film suggests, depend very much on your perspective. So in that way, it's a bit of a postmodern thing. There's a spirituality there, but it's kind of a leftist spirituality. So I would say soft no, one to the left. Next.
Some races are better than others.
Well, I don't think that the film is suggesting that any race is better than any other race, but I couldn't help but notice there was a shortage of black characters in this movie, which is a bit odd considering it's set in modern day America. We've heard these rather unpalatable things about the Chinese market, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't remember. But being cynical, I'd say that might be an aspect of the marketing, so two back to the centre. Next.
Class divides more than group.
Well, in the community that this film paints, I'd say there is a kind of soft apartheid, but class does seem to be the main obstruction to progress, to social mobility. So I'm going to say a soft yes to the proposition, one to the right. Proposition next.
The rich must exercise philanthropy.
Well, they probably should, in the view of this film, but no one seems to rely upon them to do so. Maybe they rely on the state to exercise philanthropy, I suppose. Is that the same thing? Maybe. Soft yes, one back to the centre. Next.
Authority should be questioned.
Well, yeah, it should be. Insightfully and with compassion. But yeah, it should be. One down. Next.
An eye for an eye.
Absolutely no goddamn way. Down two and left two. Next.
There is no right or wrong, only different.
Well, this is an interesting one. So the characters in this movie, of course, as they do in any narrative, make decisions based on the assumption of transcendent good. But given that the possible outcomes are infinite, what frame of reference do they have for those decisions? Or rather, what frame of reference do they have for framing those decisions as valuable? They don't really. They just have to go on their guts. Two down and two to the left. Next.
Punishment, not rehab.
Hard no. One up and two to the left. Next.
People should conform to traditional roles.
Well, the concept of family is fairly central to this film, and I would say the notion of family is quite traditional, isn't it? And the idea that that stands for something, that the thickness of blood, so to speak, is in some case the only kind of grounding that these characters have. So, in that way, it is kind of prescribing an adherence to tradition. Soft yes, one back to the centre. Next.
Consenting sexual activity, no matter how exotic, is no business of the state.
Well, that's a yes. That's definitely a hard yes. Two down and two to the left. So, where does that place Everything, Everywhere, All at Once? Well, it places the film here, in the region of anarcho-socialism, which could broadly be described as anti-authoritarian, anti-statist, and libertarian, albeit left-libertarian. It asserts that a society based on freedom and justice can only be achieved with the abolition of authoritarian institutions, and advocates for decentralized structures based on direct democracy and federal or confederal associations. There you go. If that means anything to you, maybe you'll like this movie. Even if it doesn't mean anything to you, you'll probably still like this movie. Everyone likes this movie. I like this movie. Okay, well that's it for now. That's it for now. Next week, The Northman. Bye!